Good afternoon.
Got it
Welcome
right.
to Talking Horses. I'm getting used to it.
I got confused because I had to say good morning when I did the scratches, and then it turns to afternoon.
You got confused because you are confused. Don't try to give me that crap that you got confused. You are confused. The confused guy, that's Anthony Stabile. I am not confused. I have a lot of other issues. I'm Andy Serling. How are you?
I'm good. I'm getting, you know, I've never been one of these people, like, I'm not a complainer.
You're
I'm
not.
getting sick of the weather.
Well, but you always feel that in winter. I felt the same way walking across the parking lot today because the wind blows, you're walking in, and I was thinking,
And then you look at this forecast, sleet, rain, snow.
Well, let me say something.
30 degrees.
We've been awfully lucky in a lot of winters recently.
The last 4 or 5 winters have been beautiful.
Here's what you do basically in winter. See, in winter for me, I don't really have to pay attention to weather because it doesn't affect our racing particularly. If we happen to have a terrible weather and we cancel, we cancel. But you do the work anyway. So I don't really pay attention to it because weather scares people now. My brother made a funny. I was talking to my brother yesterday, and he said, you know, I was saying how nowadays every lead story, everything you see in the advertisement is weather, 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 scaring people. There's a storm coming, 5 inches of snow, like that's going to change your life. My brother said, I remember about when I was much younger, once seeing one of these things. They came on during some TV show and said, threat of nuclear war, details at 11. Now it's snow. You know, it's like so crazy how it just monopolizes every discussion. At the end of the day, it snows a little bit.
Yeah.
It's winter. It's cold. I grew up upstate.
They plow the right side, so I got to move my car. It's just a pain in the neck. It's a pain in the neck.
You should really have a copter picking up at the house, don't you think?
I would be terrified of getting into a copter.
For those that are wondering why we didn't race yesterday, and we're starting the week today, is we're racing through Monday. So it's a 4-day week. Next week we'll be back to Thursday through Sunday. And also keep in mind, people, that Oaklawn canceled. They're running today. They canceled Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. They postponed their Southwest, which we were going to show on America's Day at the Races. We will still be on all 3 Saturday, Sunday, and Monday in America's Day at the Races, but obviously no Oaklawn. You need to head to Naira Bets. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, ask yourself why. Once you've gotten no good answer, sign up. We'll match you to $200 for your initial deposit. Support racing, keep the money in the game. Play through Naira Bets. We'll match $200. Match $200 is the bonus also. Contest Saturdays, $300 buy-in, all cash prizes. You've got until 5 o'clock today to register. Contests are always fun, popular. The 2 guys up here wish we could play. Obviously can't, but /challenge, go for that. Big contest coming up for the Gotham 3 weeks from Saturday as well. Check out that information, the website. And once again, America's Day at the Races, this is just Saturday, but we'll be on, I think, 1 to 5 on both Sunday and Monday. We'll be covering basically, I know we'll be covering Aqueduct and Tampa Bay on Sunday. Monday, there could be some fairgrounds, but I'm not sure. I'm actually not in on Monday. But that's tomorrow, and that's all that action for fairgrounds, along with Tampa and Aqueduct. And a lot of good stakes.
I know tomorrow Fairgrounds is going to replace Oaklawn with the late pick 4 promotion.
There you go. Let me ask a question. Who do you like in the Risen Star? Keep me in mind not running. I was way against him.
Yeah, keep me in mind he's going to wait for the Southwest.
He's going to lose that Southwest.
Defeater is also going to run on
the allowance race earlier
in the card. You know, Andy, I was a big Senior Buscador fan in that Springboard.
We all like him.
I don't know. I mean, I guess I think Proxy is going to run well, but Proxy's going to take a lot of money on the rider change to John Velasquez.
Doesn't John have to be more aggressive with him? You know, not allow
especially from the draw. Yeah, I mean, he's inside of Midnight Bourbon now. Midnight Bourbon doesn't have the rail this time. Yeah, I would imagine that Johnny's going to get aggressive. The problem is, this is a horse that probably should be 5 or 6 to 1 off of the last race because you have to.
I think you'll get 5 to 1.
I don't think. No. I don't know. Not with the rider. And Mitchell Burrow didn't do anything wrong. But when you can get John Velasquez, you get John Velasquez. I just think he's going to take way too much money to offer any.
I don't think you'll get worse than 9 to 2. I think they're going to focus so much on the winner of the race in Mandaloun, and then you throw in Senior Buscador, that it makes him the 4th choice in the race.
Putting blinkers on Mandaloun, that's more often than not we talk about how it could be a sign of desperation. For Brad Cox, his numbers are very good with blinkers on. So, yeah, I mean, he looked like a horse. The comment in the paper was willingly. What does that even mean at this point?
It's a lazy comment by a chart caller.
You know?
But forgetting about that, he ran well last time.
Yeah.
I didn't like him going into the race. I thought he ran well. I gained respect for him. And that's what you need to do. You got to learn from these races.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to Senior Buscador not running on Lasix. You have to think about that. I'm not as concerned, but it's an issue, and you have to at least consider it. and the competition has got much steeper, and he needs to get out of the gate because you cannot keep getting left in the gate. I know he ran a 93 buyer, got left, but as it gets tougher, you can't keep hampering yourself.
As the waters get deeper, you can't keep doing that to yourself.
He's slow, but you still don't want to break behind him.
And it was a little odd that he didn't run, that he ran on the Lasix last time, because he knew, trainer Todd Fincher knew he would be disqualified from getting any of the Derby points. There were points on the line in that springboard mile, and he was only one of 2 horses in a race that I believe ran on Lasix. He galloped. We're going to see what happens now.
A friend of mine said to me, I wish I'd bought him after his first race, and I'm thinking, a lot of people have said that. We'll see what he does. He is an exciting horse. Did a preview for that in the Rachel Alexandra. That's available. Just tweeted it out. It's available on the NYRA YouTube page. Race number 1. We'll take a look at Wishes and Dreams winning last time out, and it's important to note the favorite lost the rider at the start in this race. So this is one of those races, much like that Carlos Martin horse that won that's back entered on Sunday in an interesting stake race we're running. Is that the Damon Runyon? No.
It's the Gander.
The Gander. Loved Gander. So, as you can see, the riderless horse, obviously the riderless horse was fine. And Manny Franco, I believe, was fine as well.
Jose.
Was it Jose Oscano? There was nobody else in the field. The reason I think we like this horse is, you know, this horse was claimed by Rudy Rodriguez, and most of the horses that were claimed from Chad Summers in dirt races have come back and won either their next start or subsequent start. And also, this was Rudy claiming a maiden that was probably not going to win.
Correct.
So he was going to have to come back in the maiden race. I don't think he has much competition. I'm not trying to beat him at a short price.
Yeah, that was the thing here. It was more so that she doesn't have much to beat in here. And for a filly like her, who can use a little pace up front, and, you know, she gets it with Charlotte Webley in here. And you kind of, you know, you almost knew Charlotte Webley was going to be in a race like this.
Does she worry you to wire the field, Charlotte Webley?
You know, Hey It's Toddy was aggressively ridden last time.
She can't run with Charlotte Webley.
I mean, unless she's in a full-out drive, she can't. No, I understand that, but yeah, I mean, I get.
She was aggressively
3 months ago, 3 months ago, when the barn was winning races, she'd have worried me a lot more. But I'll tell you what, Andy, she had a pretty easy time of it last time.
I agree. She always gives it up, but I don't think she should be completely dismissed in here. I'm not exactly sure why she's as big a price in the morning line as she is. What about Miss Charisma? I mean, can she refine her form? Miss Charisma, she's on the precipice of just being completely finished.
Yeah, broke her maiden up at Finger Lakes, and her 2 races on the circuit, they're just not very good.
The Laurel races were legit, but, and I mean, to be fair, Anthony, she was running in a stakes race compared to what she's running in here. I don't agree with David.
Right, but she ran for like 3/8 of a mile last time, right?
But she was still running in a race that was a million times better than this. I don't think it should be totally discounted. And she caught a sloppy track against, frankly, better horses in her one race at Saratoga. This is a lot easier than the races she was running around town. I mean,
it figures to be.
I think that she is dangerous. I don't trust her, but I think she's dangerous on the drop. Race number 2, I obviously went a little nuts in race number 2.
This is the kind of race to do it.
Well, why don't you talk about Love That Face, who definitely has a chance.
I was ready to just give up on Love That Face, but, you know, I figured off the 3 months last time, trying the mile for the first time. Now she cuts back to the sprint. I just wanted to give her one more chance. I don't want these horses that are going to be shorter than her, really. I mean, I've seen enough of Crick and Men's Amends and Grape there.
But don't you think that Crick is going to greatly benefit from cutting back in distance?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
I know that, you know, Love That Face was coming off a layoff, tried to go a mile, got involved in a pace that fell apart, but the reality is that Crick was right on top of that pace and still beat her by 5 lengths, and I think that Crick rates to benefit more from the cutback than she does. Crick has obviously had her share of chances. I don't love her either, but I think she can win.
I mean, truth be told, all of the horses that are going to be shorter than the 2 horses we have on top can win. It's just I've had enough.
I agree, and we'll look at, is it Ramon or Ramoni?
I think we just went Ramon and got rid of the E at the end.
Just give us a name we can pronounce. I know this horse ran fine last time, but lost to Hey It's Toddy. Look at Hey It's Toddy in the first race. Men's Amends. Look at Men's Amends, who finished 3rd in there and got a 50 buyer. How does that 50 buyer stack up to the races? It feels a little on the high side. Ramon ran fine 3 races back, but was on a good rail that day at Belmont. She can win, but I'm with you. I don't want her at a super short price. You know, I'm just like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's the kind of horse where she's only had 5 chances for on the dirt, and she's only run really where she belonged, in for the tag a couple of times, 3 times to be exact, and she was second in 2 of those starts. But, I mean, that was another one last time. I know, Hey It's Toddy had to run in a race last time, but man, how much do you want on her at the 8th pole? Looking like she's just going to roll on by. She doesn't. She can't finish the job. Ramon's one of a handful in here of horses that I kind of feel like are on that road to being, you know, at some point they're going to get out of these maiden ranks. They're going to find the right crew, and they're going to get out of the ranks. I think Grape Therapy kind of falls into that same that same category. And then, of course, you have the senior members of the group, Crick and Men's Amends, who, I mean, 0 for 14 and 0 for 12. If this is a race, you know, if you want to go off the reservation, this is certainly the kind of race where you pick a horse.
Grape Therapy can win
Yeah,
here.
sure.
I mean, Grape Therapy got left last time, but really didn't do any running after getting left, and that's what bothered me. It's not like that race didn't fall apart. So he can win. I don't trust her. Yeah, as you say, going off the reservation, and obviously I have, with Golden Celine, who might just trail this field by 30 lengths.
Right.
Having said that, you look at her pedigree. What was this horse doing on the dirt to begin with? What is it? There Goes Jose or something? Is that the horse this horse to have to?
Oh, yeah.
That horse was a respectable 60s to 70 buyer speed figure type. Why was this horse a golden ticket to Speightstown? Yeah. Is it?
I don't remember. Yeah, the drawing was drawn away in Atras.
I got to look the horse up again.
Yeah.
But the point is, what was this horse doing running long on the turf? And I know this isn't the Joe Parker that won 13 races here.
They tried to run. They didn't this was open. They didn't run on state-bred races.
I know this isn't the Joe Parker that won 13 races here a few years ago, but he has won a couple of races. And I just, like you, I looked at this field and I went, I just don't want to pick any of these. I know I don't want to bet any of these horses. I don't want to pick them. And I respect your pick with the 1. I didn't put the horse in there, but I could see her running well. I don't think she's impossible in here, and she might be the right fuzzy in here. I just wanted to take somebody goofy here, and I'll go for this goofball.
Honestly, you know what, Andy? Save Mia Kalia, who to me would be a real surprise.
Men's Amends is a little tough, but I agree. Mia Kalia is ridiculous.
I think Mia Kalia, but the other ones, none of them would really, like you know, you made a decent enough case for this horse going to be 30 to 1, number 1.
No, it's not going to be 30 to 1.
You don't think so?
No, but it might be 12 to 15 to 1. I think the people will look at this and realize.
You think Golden Celine will be 15, no more than 15 to 1?
I'm looking at doubles and the horses into this gigantic price. I guess you're probably right.
We want to lunch that? We can lunch that.
I'm not interested in betting lunches on stupid things like that. Enough dumb things. We're at 59, right? Yeah, even though one of my horses was eased, but that's okay. Race number 3. I don't want to be too obvious here, but I just think Ice Princess has found her friends in this race. We'll take a look at her Fleet Indian. I know she didn't run particularly well last time, the DuPont down at Laurel. I like her actually cutting back to the 1-turn mile. She was on a good rail in this race, but let's be honest, she's running against a million times better than this race than she's running against here. And this isn't a bad field, and I think I agree with you. Love and Love is okay. I just think Ice Princess has found the right field, and this is a bright spot for Danny Gargan. She's a super short price, but nothing.
They were the 2. Gargan's, and obviously not with the quality of this filly, but Gargan has burned some money with some other fillies and some other horses that were short prices. Again, not the quality of this filly. I just wanted to take a little shot with a horse who's won her last 3 races on dry ground.
Here's a race 2 back.
You know, at least twice the price of Ice Princess. Yeah, here she is 2 back. This was off an August layoff. It didn't seem to bother her to have the little 3-month and change break. In fact, you could argue that this was the best race she's ever run, and she came back good from the break, and she was, you know, finished the job here. I
don't have a knock on her.
Yeah.
I think she's very logical as the other horse.
Like I said, playing pick 4s, pick 5s. Even if you're playing the Empire 6 today, I think you 4s and 6s, and you try and move forward, and you just try and get this horse home at the bigger price.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I would use a little Maiden Beauty in here. I don't think she's totally impossible. I think she improved last time on the wet track, but she was buried down inside 2 back. I don't think was comfortable down there, and she's not that bad. I thought she had a little bit of a chance in here. I don't get the morning line. I can't believe she's going to be a shorter price than Love and Love. I know she finished ahead of her, but Love and Love I think does have more of those resume of wins.
Yeah.
So I would expect that she'll be the 3rd choice. I don't disagree. I just think Ice Princess is probably too good for these. Big Benny's Tribute had a perfect trip against much lesser, and Customer Experience beat her, but she did it with a perfect trip too. And I just think they're meeting tougher horses.
Yeah, Customer Experience should, I would imagine, work out a decent enough trip in here. Came back, like you were right last time, came back way too quick in a much tougher race.
She's that good.
She might not be, but, you know, I'm not a Maiden Beauty fan. And I feel like
I'll bet you
buyer's
a lunch.
remorse.
I'll bet you one lunch that the 5 beats the 1.
Yeah, we do that. We can do that. There's a little action. Okay. Yeah, I mean, buyer's remorse is going to go, and my assumption is Kendrick's just going to sit off of her.
Okay, well, that's what horses that don't have speed do. Maiden Beauty is the one who will likely be sitting second in this race. I'm not a customer experience fan.
Okay.
I think when she's won, she's beaten weaker fields and had the absolute run of the race. Race number 4, you've got Make or Break on top, who is the morning line favorite. Go ahead.
A lot of chalk here. Halo City all of a sudden has turned into a win machine. This was she faced her last time.
But she couldn't beat Princess Pinky.
Yeah, I know, but she did some lifting last time out. She was chasing, and I mean, you don't feel like she was?
No.
Oh, I do.
No.
I did.
But Princess Pinky was on the pace too.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's the kind of horse where I think she's much better suited to settle and make one run. I don't like her on top of a pace, regardless of how slow they are. So I'm hoping she
There's
just
no speed in this race. Don't you think it would hurt her, the fact that you'd rather she makes one run to a slow pace? I think that Cardenas was closer because there was a lack of pace in there.
I think Nikki Scissors is going to go. I think Mia Be a Star is going to be on the lead. I think Nikki Scissors is going to go.
Really? Okay, I think Nikki Scissors is going to be on the lead.
Ahead of Mia Be a Star?
Yeah. Want about a lunch on that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm giving you the rider edge as far as aggression goes.
You've made a statement. You don't have to bet if you don't want.
No, I'm in.
I think it was faster than 6.
I'm in on that. I'm in. I would have to think coming out of the sprint, she's going to be in front of her.
Didn't look like it to me, but okay. I like Mia Be a Star because I think she's, this is a move for Linda that's worked. Take a look at her stats. Stretching on the dirt. She's 6 for 19 first time in a route. An ROI of around $2 is pretty strong. These are serious numbers. She is very good stretching out. I think this horse will stalk in here, and I like Linda stretching out. And I've always thought this horse might have a little ability, and maybe she can take a step forward. I mean, Make or Break's the horse to beat. I just don't like her last race. That concerns me.
That's fine.
I don't want a horse dropping a little bit off her last race. It's not really a drop. They claimed her for 16.
Right.
They put her in over her head last time out. To be fair, as it turned out, especially Halo City, though it wasn't really a 40 on paper. It was a 16 to 25 on paper. Halo City ran like a 40. The others, I mean, the horse who finished second.
They're very similar in that aspect, where they were both claimed for 16. They ran on the raise, and now they're both back in for the quarter. Again, they're not real drop downs because these horses are still running for more than they were claimed for. The
horse that I'm worried about is Homedale Park, who I do think can win this race. If you just take at face value that 66 buyer and ran a 68 3 back, horse could be faster than these horses. So I'm not convinced she has no chance in here. And I think it's interesting to see how well she runs because Foley Square, she's got a big figure out of that race, and Foley Square is in a race on Sunday where if she runs back to that number, she's going to be very, very tough to beat. I want to see it again.
On dirt, she's run 2 of her, on dirt, 2 of her last 3 races are the fastest races she ever run. She ran one other 68 on turf. But I just kind of feel like last time, and you were right, Foley Square ran well.
Foley Square
Manny
was
Petty
bet
came
and she
back
ran.
to win.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's a good point.
So, I mean, but she's kind of decidedly the 3rd horse in here, right?
I'm not sure. I don't think either the 5 or 6 are that good. And the 5 is not reliable off her last race, and Mia Be a Star is still a little on the slow side. So I don't know. I don't see why she can't win this race. I mean, I like her more than Nikki Scissors, but I've never liked Nikki Scissors, as you know. I just don't think she's good, and I think she was second. She was kind of lucky to be second last time, and Mebs Webb's down the inside. I bet Mebs Webb back, and she was bad, so I'm not a fan of that race.
Yeah, she was not good. Lottie's Mission, I don't think she was very good. Did she run back?
No, but she was just better than those horses. She won in hand. I mean, she galloped to victory. Should we take a break after 4, Francisco?
He's ready. He's ready.
Well,
he's got his finger on the button.
With him before.
I know, but he's ready. He's a grizzled veteran at this point.
He's the man, Francisco. All right, we'll be right back.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses.
I can't remember. My memory used to be so much better than it
rider
is.
who's riding now at Oaklawn. What's his name?
Francisco Arrieta.
Francisco should know about him. He's riding at. He's actually doing okay.
He
right?
wins races wherever he goes now. I
Think
can't
he rode
remember.
here?
He didn't win here. If this is the same
here?
guy I was thinking about, yeah.
You may be right. It's just hard to remember all the time.
I can't recall. Yeah.
Race number 5. You and I like the same horse. Go ahead. I'll let you talk about what might have been.
I originally liked Iranian and then saw that she was back in Manana. What might have been dropping down, trainer change to Rob Atras. Source was 43-1 first time out. So it wasn't like there was any kind of move on this horse or anything. Horse ran for a half mile and stopped, and didn't even do much running in that half mile. Andy, I don't know where else to go in here.
I think a couple of things about what might have been. The rail was good that day, and even though the winner closed in there, this horse was chasing 3 wide the whole way, so it was a little bit against the racetrack. Did move to the rail in the stretch for what it's worth, but it is a real trainer switch, and no disrespect to Dave Canizzo, but going to Rob Atras. And this horse also ran against significantly better horses. It's kind of the new face in this crew. I wouldn't be surprised if this horse is favored on this move, the drop down, the new face. Just thought sort of logical going there. I didn't really want anybody else there. I do not like Enter Sandman.
Sandwoman.
Sandwoman. I want to see that fig reproduced. I'm not a She's a Dirty Dancer fan. I think that was a very, very hungry field, and I am extremely dubious. Betsy Blue is coming back on Sunday with a big fig out of that race, and we'll see. Maybe Enter Sandwoman will run back to it, and that enhances the second place finisher in there. And, you know, Stormy Cat Lady and Quiet Type are coming out of the same race. David Aragona was pointing this out to me yesterday. He was surprised I didn't like Stormy Cat Lady more than I did, and I moved her up, actually, after talking to David about it. This is 2 back for Stormy Cat Lady. And this was the day that was against her out of this race, because even though she moved wide in the stretch, and this was a gold rail, she was also on the rail for the entire race until she moved out in the stretch. So she had an enormous amount go her own way. Having said that, you look at her last race, and she really ran poorly in that race. Now, Quiet Type, I don't know what to do with her. She broke a step slow. She just dropped completely out of the race. Now, was she running at the end, or was the race falling apart in front of her? I don't know. I think it's a combination of both. But she still finished ahead of Stormy Cat Lady. And she was like, I don't know what was going on with her. I mean, and one day maybe she figures out and she drops down. So I'm sort of 8-4. The others can beat me. That's all. They're the only 2 I want, the only 2 that I'll use in pick 5s.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm probably more against the Stormy Cat Lady and Quiet Type race, and just wound up putting Enter Sandwoman second. It's not really an endorsement for Enter Sandwoman more than it's an indictment on that race last time. Because like you said, Quiet Type's the horse that ordinarily I'd be all over. Be it, my man Jimmy Jerkins dropping down for the first time. But the last 2 races, she's so far behind these fields.
And it's like, is she going to wake up today and have more speed? I don't know. They put blinkers on her last time. It didn't do anything.
It made it worse.
Made it worse, right? So I don't.
But they didn't come off. See, the blinker's not coming off for a guy like Jimmy, who pays attention to everything, and you learn that from the chief, obviously. The fact that they didn't come off.
Didn't learn from you?
No. We spent a lot of time together when I was a kid.
Maybe
leads me to believe. Maybe it wasn't the blinkers. Maybe I don't know. That's what I mean. There were just too many contradictions for me to really get behind her.
Nothing is going to wildly surprise me in here. I just would prefer the decisions that I made. Race number 6. We move on. At 12 Labor's the horse to beat in here. You and I have taken another horse, but I will take a look at 12 Labor last time. At the end of the day, Heirloom Kitten would be very tough to beat in this field.
Yeah.
And
tried to beat Heirloom Kitten in her own game, too. She was in front of Heirloom Kitten the entire way.
Well, Heirloom Kitten, Eric rated him. I don't know why. Ended up winning. Despite that, I'm not sure why they were, but the pace was quick enough. I think 12 Labor ran very well, and I'm not wildly against him. I just kind of prefer the other horse. It will probably be a slightly better price, but I don't have a negative on this horse.
No, there's no negative. If there is a knock, he doesn't win. Now you can say, well, he's in that three lifetime. Of course he doesn't win. This horse hasn't won in like 2.5 years.
He's been some short prices in races. I don't think that's unfair.
He doesn't win.
I think that's perfectly fair.
So, I mean, that's a problem, you know. And look, you could say, again, they're in for 3 life conditions. So a lot of them don't win. But
well, I mean,
he's made a career out of not winning.
Not that Brady, the horse we have on top, to be fair, we'll show the last race, ran very well last time out and was much the best in this field. You know, fortunately, if you bet him, the other half of the entry won, so you got paid, which is fair. The favorite did not show up in here, the Gargan horse.
Yep.
And it wasn't much of a field after that. And it is a 71 buyer. He ran much better than the 71 buyer because he battled it out in the pace. And he showed a sign there's still some life left. But let's be honest. This is not the Not That Brady that ran in the past.
No.
He's gotten a little of his form left. He's the controlling speed here. Manny Franco's supposed to just air it out with him. But still, do you really totally trust him?
No, not at all. But he's going to be a better price, I would imagine.
Yeah, he should
you never
be
know what goes
choice.
on around here,
No,
but he should be a better
second
price than
choice.
12th Labor, right? He's
12th
the
Labor's
controlling
if he's
speed.
a favorite, I'll bet 12th Labor.
Right. And truth be told, he's probably, Not That Brady is probably a little bit better at the mile. Especially
I don't know
at this,
about that, Anthony.
At this stage in his career, I think they may be mixing it up too much
Really?
going to 7. I mean, look, Andy, they went a pretty good clip for that caliber last time.
But there were other speeds in the race. There aren't in today's race. Now, maybe somebody goes. I suppose the last zip could go. I'll get the last zip in the winner's circle. I don't. And listen, I'm friends with Jordan Wyckoff, who owns this horse. I'd like to see Jordan. I hope I'm wrong for his sake. But this horse is one dirt race where he got that 81 buyer. I recommend people going to Formulator and looking that field up.
Abiding Star beat him.
Abiding Star, who Abiding Star has no bigger fan than me.
I know that.
And
you get $7 the other day, by the way?
Yeah, I took it.
Very good.
He can't stand up on the dirt.
No, he can't.
I mean, that is the most dubious of, and that's a typical off the turf fig. I get it. I've always liked this horse, not like anything else. He was pitiful last time.
Awful.
I mean, absolutely pitiful. So he's a turf horse that may have lost his form. They got a very good race out of him off the claim. I bet him that day. Conviction trade, you know, was a good horse, and he's just been terrible since then. I don't want him, but I think Wild Banker's going to run a lot better than people believe in here, and I almost picked him on top. The problem was I got the money with him last time. But there's something you got to remember. In the same vein as Not That Brady, he moved way too soon into a pace that absolutely incinerated, and he still held off the closer who came back and buried a field in the next start.
Yes, very quick pace.
This was a very, very good effort. Now, he's got better horse in here, but I'm not leaving him out. I'm using 3 5s and 7s in here.
Well, like you said, if you don't trust Not That, you know, is Not That Brady trustworthy at this point? Absolutely not. 12th Labor, we already talked about how he's made a career out of, you know, finishing out the exactor in the try.
Let me say something
He's going to be a square price, too.
Let me say something else about him, and I am not the biggest fan of Chad Summers, who doesn't win that often, but he's had this horse because he's been working for Mike Tini. So if people see the trainer change and think, I'm not going to bet this horse over trainer change to Chad Summers, you're making a mistake because Chad
essentially won the race with him last time.
Chad won with him last time.
Yep.
So, you know, the facts are facts.
Correct.
So it's not really a trainer change. You know, very similar, there's a horse on Sunday's card that's coming in from out of town and switching to David Duggan. Eddie Keneally's part owner of the horse. He's trained in the past. Well, obviously, the horse worked 2 weeks ago at like Turfway. So it's not really a trainer change.
Right.
And you know, I'm a big fan of Dave Duggan and the job he does, but it's not really a change. And I think you'd have to be aware of those things. And in this case, it's not a trainer change to Chad Summers. He deserves the credit for the win last time.
Agreed.
Much more than Mike Dean.
Completely
Mike
agree.
Dean would agree. Race number 7. Anthony, I'm with you.
Good
luck to getting 5-2 on Glass Ceiling.
Right.
I hope we do. I just think she's better than these horses. Maybe I'm wrong.
I kept trying, you know, I took a look at your picks and I was like, well, we're agreeing again. And you're always kind enough to maybe make a switch or two so we could have a little more content up here. Man, I went through them and how do you not wind up on her today? It's just, it's impossible not to.
I just think she's better than these horses. I really do. And
right?
This is a race 2 back. Last time out, she runs again. Lets Me Take This Call, who should have run the stake race that day and ran a huge race. I just don't have any knock on her at all.
She ran last time.
I think she's improved for Cantor Mossy, and I just think she's found the right spot. And the other thing is, see, I don't like Forever Changed and Awesome Debate. This is Forever Changed beating Awesome Debate 2 races back. You know, it's funny. I was looking at my friend Nick Tamaro's picks in this race, and I think he likes her because Forever Changed. She got up a gold rail to win this race, and I bet her, so I'm not complaining. And last time, you thought she could be second. I thought you were ridiculous, but you were right. But you were right because she could suck up the rail. I know the pace wasn't fast last time, but she didn't do any running last time, sitting up the rail while others were chasing outside. Awesome Debate won last time out because nobody went.
Nobody
full
went.
of speed except for Jorge Vargas, who did a great job. And I just think they're both totally dressed up by circumstance. And frankly, I thought Dovey Lovey was a little more interesting in this race. She might get a little more pace to run out. And she's kind of my other horse in here. I'm going to use a little Dovey Lovey.
See, it's funny you said that, and I went the other way on her because I don't think she's going to get as much pace as she got the last two times.
She got no pace last time. She got no pace 2 races back. And she was in behind Glass Ceiling. I don't know. Doesn't Risk Model and Kendrick have to go? She's not that fast, though.
She's not that fast.
Kay Jewel's supposed to go a little bit in here. Isn't she's a black belt supposed to go from the rail?
She almost
never got to go from the rail.
There's a big difference between have to. She has to. I mean, from the inside, because again,
Let's talk about Risk Model.
Yeah, I mean, this is a
man
huge
was
effort.
very eager. Well, she was riding a very good rail on December 19th for the vast majority of the race. And it was a good move by Manny putting her on top. So I have to believe that Kendrick's going to see that and say, well, I got to ride her and hustle her because far and away the best race she ran, even if she was with a bias, was by going to the front. If you're wondering why she's not Klarovich anymore, she was sold at the dispersal back in, early this year?
January 11th?
January, is that what it was? Somewhere in there.
Keeneland, right?
I think she sold for $160,000, I want to say. I think she's totally dressed up by circumstance last time out, but maybe she'll be a different horse in the front end. Now she goes from Chad Brown, but she does go to Brad Cox's
She beat
barn.
a 3 to 5 shot that was coming off the layoff that
didn't
day.
do any running at all.
Didn't run 2 steps. She could listen. I guess if she runs that race, she can. You know what the problem is, Andy? She can run that race and finish 4th in here.
Well, I agree.
That's the biggest problem.
I agree. The thing is, even if you think that, well, maybe it wasn't the track and she ran that race, you've got to hope that Brad Cox improves her off that race. And
I think it's foolish to think it's anything but a lateral move.
She's running against some very experienced runners. I mean, Glass Ceiling has 3 wins. Forever Changed has 5 wins. Awesome Debate has 5 wins. She's running against some, even on the outside with my horse Dovey Lovey, who's got 4 wins. She's coming this race against some experienced horses, and she's not going to be 20 to 1.
And the truth of the matter is, her card overall, she has never faced anything.
Oh. No, and
she has not faced much.
The favorite didn't show up.
Didn't show up. Rapido Gata, who had no races in her last 3 or 4 starts, she was second that day.
Yeah, I didn't have the exact. I only used her second and third in tries. Idiot that I am. Race number 8.
Kind of one of your sillier things that you've done so far this year.
No, that was a mistake. I don't know, it was silly. It was a mistake. I played poorly. Race number 8. I guess the horse to beat is Paint Music for me, who lost to Open Lengths, who didn't show up at all in a subsequent start. Aren't you a little, no question, he's the horse to beat, but aren't you a little tired of this guy?
I mean, I guess. I do think cutting back is going to probably help his cause. I mean, I know he couldn't dent Open Lengths here, and Open Lengths, like you said, I think he's run back twice, right? He hasn't done much running in either of his starts.
But he did run in there,
yeah,
so I don't think he's impossible. I'm not against him. I just didn't want to pick him.
I mean, this horse's last 2 dirt races, Andy, would horrify these horses.
Cretan Pharaoh got completely left in a 5-furlong race first time out. Then last time gets a sloppy sealed track, down towards the inside, may not have been the best place to be. I want to give him one chance. He's just the other horse in here. Orphan Helly is probably the other horse and was wide last time. Probably worked against him. Probably not the best of trips in there. But those were better horses. I'm going to use 1, 2s, and 6s here.
The only other horse I want to maybe use is the 5 Loaded Joe. Showed speed last time. Maybe Loaded Joe could just
a social group.
But maybe he finally found the bunch to keep going in front of. He's going to be in front. There's nobody. I mean,
okay.
I guess Lorenzen.
I wouldn't use him if
he's going to be he's going to be in front. And every now and we've seen crazier horses than Loaded Joe find a field that they could just wire for this.
No, we haven't actually. Actually, we haven't. You'll have to find the one you want to show me to prove that.
Man.
If he's 6 to 1 morning line, I think he should be 60 to 1. But hey, good luck with him. I'd use Bally Dooley before him.
Bally Dooley, yeah. Oh, not Bally Dooley, not Bally Doyle. See what they did there?
Probably not much dirt in that pedigree.
You want to go to Ballydoyle ever? No interest?
No, I was talking about it with somebody yesterday. I'd like to go to the Irish Champions, where they race the Saturday races at Leopardstown and the Sunday races at the Curragh. So I would like to do that, actually. It's, it's a little close to Saratoga. That's the problem with it. It's tough to...
It's not... Oh, so that we're not talking about the...
Talking about the Irish Champions Day at Leopardstown. I think it's like the second... I think it might be the weekend after Labor Day here, and it's a little hard to leave Saratoga.
What's the Champions races that they run 2 weeks before the Breeders' Cup?
That's the English Champions.
That's the English Champions.
That I'd like to go to, and I will go if I can do the traveling this year. If not, I'll go in 22. That
wow! All right. You're not here Monday? You said you're not here Monday?
I am not here on Monday.
Oh, I did not know that.
Well, they may have to find somebody to Talking Horses because I'm not out on Monday. I'm also out on Sunday, February 28th. I'm going to take a couple days off in March, too.
I'm calling both of those days. I'm calling Monday and the 28th.
I got to stop never taking my vacation days.
What am I going to do? I hope they don't leave me alone.
I don't think they'll leave you alone.
I've done 3-hour radio shows alone.
I don't know who will Monday. Maybe Greg will do it with you Monday.
Okay.
You did it before. Maggie's away. Maggie's at Fairgrounds.
Maggie's doing the Fairgrounds races.
She is.
She'll be there for America's Day.
I will not be doing Prattle's second and third races, though. We're taping a podcast. Actually, our first podcast in, I think, a year or more. Horatio de Paz.
Was I the last guest?
No wonder we stopped doing it. I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I did a podcast.
We did it in December of 19.
Don't know. But we are doing one across the board with Horatio de Paz. I have to have a new helper, my new assistant, because Naj has left us.
Oh, that's right.
I think Ryan Martin Naira is up to it. He's actually officially changed his name to Ryan Martin Naira.
I was talking to somebody.
He's changing his name legally to his Twitter handle.
I was talking to somebody about that the other day. I know you're not a big wrestling fan, but the Ultimate Warrior changed his name legally to the Ultimate Warrior. It was Jim something. He changed it to the Ultimate Warrior, and I asked somebody.
How do you think his parents felt about that?
I don't think they cared. He was
Really?
making an awful lot of money back then. I wonder if Ryan would change it to Ryan Martin Naira.
I think he has.
You think he has?
I have. So I don't really care what he does, to be honest. I'm not going past myself. And I'm not the only one. Many of us have changed his name to Ryan Martin Naira. With no hyphen.
Yeah. So
He's like a horse.
Is he your new assistant?
It's like, he is my new assistant. He's working hard. He's got a new app for doing it on the phone. He's got it all going on.
I'll tell you what, we like to
So
break
we believe
his chops.
we believe we'll have a
We like to break
podcast.
his chops. I don't know too many people that work harder than Ryan Martin. Ryan Martin, and most importantly, Ryan Martin Naira
Get it right.
absolutely loves the
Official
game
name.
and loves what he does.
Does love the game, no doubt about it.
Which is very, very
Love
important.
Talking Horses with him. He has a very amazing amount of knowledge, especially considering he's relatively young. But he knows a lot about a lot of things that took place before he was born. No question about it. Anyway, right now, you need to focus on one thing and one thing only. If you're a member in Naira Bets, you don't need to listen. You can
Tune out.
Get out of it. Done with this. But if you aren't, you have to ask yourself why. And as long as you can, sign up. Use Match 200. We'll match them to $200 of your initial deposit. Once you're a member in Naira Bets, you can join in all the fun and things like Saturday contest, $300 buy-in, all cash prizes. Register now. You have until 5 o'clock today. Naira.com/challenge. And of course, 2:30 to 5:30 this Saturday, 1 to 5 on Sunday and Monday. America's Day at the Races. Action from Aqueduct, Tampa Bay, but also all the stakes action from Fairgrounds. Is Maxfield running there, I think, right? And the other one, the one who won the Jim Dandy.
Mystic Guide.
Mystic Guide. I like more than Maxfield. He's running the Razorback, so that'll be next Saturday.
Yeah, Maxfield's running tomorrow in the.
I think Mystic Guide's good.
It's called the Fair. Is it the Fairgrounds?
The Mine Shaft.
The Mine Shaft. The Fairgrounds is on the turf.
Okay, we're done. I'll be back for the Prowl first. I won't be doing Prowls the second and third. But I'll be back for the fourth through the end of the day.
Johnny I will be.
Johnny I. Thankfully,
while.
you won't be stuck with Anthony. Johnny I will be calling the races. Are you doing the changes now?
No,
or is he
not
here?
today.
You got through the traffic? You
I
got
believe
the text?
so. I mean, that's how we left off. We left off that Johnny I would be here.
Traffic.
Johnny I is like the mailman. He always delivers.
That's correct. See you later.